Welcome back to the social universe where you learn the secrets of the social media through the social universe, and in many cases, the secrets in the universe itself. Last segment, we were talking about creating your image, or here's the official advertising word for this, creating your branding on the social media. Things that somebody can, yeah, creating your branding has to do with the colors that you choose, it has to do with the logo that you choose and that you create. All of that, that's branding, but also the image inside of your branding about who you actually are. And over the break, my videographer was talking about I was telling my videographer actually about a guy that completely got crucified in the social media. I was hanging out with a group of women, and they all expressed their all but utter hatred for this particular businessman. And I asked him why, because he is actually a pretty good guy from what I knew, and they all said, he actually seems like a pretty good guy. But we look on his Facebook, and we see him always holding a beer in the air, and there's always seems to be girls around him. So we think that he's not a good guy in his business either. And so you just got to be really careful about what you throw there on Facebook. And my videographer said, well, maybe that is the image that he wants to portray. So here's the only other advice. I'm going to leave this subject alone about your branding. Is that if you truly feel that, or let me back up. You need to talk to an image consultant to determine if your personal life is a good reflection on your branding of your business. If the two don't match, I'm not telling you that you got to change your personal life. What I'm telling you is separate your social media and don't let your personal life get crossed over into your business branding. So I'll leave that subject there. We'll move on. I finally have something good to say about Facebook. So here's the great news about Facebook is that they took a weakness that just about killed them when they went public. It was all very embarrassing because they had these hyped up, pumped up numbers of people that were actually utilizing Facebook, and at the time, Facebook didn't know how to handle mobile users. So there were all these mobile users that were essentially not being able to look at ads, not being able to interact in a way that would help a business owner. But yet, and don't quote me on this number, but it was somewhere around like 20 to 30, about 20%, I think it was, of the users of Facebook were actually mobile users. But at the time, it was unfair to tell the people that were investing and the business owners that were advertising. So what do the investors and their advertisers have to do with each other? That the main revenue stream of Facebook, besides selling information to the NSA, but anyway, other than that, which is something I've badmouthed, and I'm not even saying they sell it. I'm just saying that they cave in and they just share it, with the NSA. But what Facebook did to overcome this issue that the advertisers were thinking that they were getting more advertising than they really were, is they got on the ball and they made it so that you get a little bit more annoyed with the advertisers on your cell phone. So they're interacting well with the cell phones, and so if you haven't noticed with the use of your Facebook app, that you're getting ads, you're getting banner ads, you're getting a few different things, and so now they're being more true to their investors, they're being more true to their advertisers, and in many cases, that wouldn't necessarily be a good thing. It might be like me getting up here and saying I love ABC because they actually up the amount of commercials that they have for all of you. That's not what I'm saying. It's that Mark Zuckerberg has been anti-business for so long that it was actually unfair for him to set the expectation that investors were going to actually have a good revenue stream from continuing advertisers when it was all a bunch of hot air. But they've done some things to correct it. Now I don't retract anything that I said. In all the bad things, I don't retract any of it, unless of course somebody can show me that it's incorrect, and then I of course would be happy to retract, or I retract it automatically, whatever you want to say. But I still am frustrated that Mark Zuckerberg looks at the Facebook fan pages or timelines, the integration. He still relegates those over to the sandbox. That you can't do much. It's still It doesn't get all the things done that the old fan pages used to. I'm still sore about that. I'm still sore about a lot of things about Facebook. I definitely don't like the NSA selling out to the NSA, where our privacy is just being tracked and tracked and tracked. By the way, there's an app, and I'm going to have to tell you what it is. I think it's called Life 360. And there's also another app called Google Maps. And they have this little cool trick on Google Maps that says if you want to have us track, help you get to navigate to where you want to more easily, then you need to just click here on this nice little warm and fuzzy disclaimer, and then we'll just be able to track you and help you get to where you want to go really nicely. Don't click that. I know it's a little bit, it's annoying to not click it and to not have as perfect of a GPS tracking system on your phone. When you click that, you're giving permission for them to give it to whoever, whenever they want. So if you want to have your whereabouts tracked, I mean, it's the equivalent of having, that's how we found Osama bin Laden, right? So if you want to have the equivalent of having an implant put inside your body, and having the NSA track long-term everywhere you go at all times. And, a lot of us say, well, I'm not doing anything wrong. Well, what's right today might be wrong in 20 years. And then they go back and kick your behind about it. There's several people who lost their jobs in the last year. And this year was the year of crucifying people for things that are taboo now that weren't taboo 20 years ago. And this is something, by the way, sorry to wax a little bit political, but I want to know why it is that Senator Byrd, who used to be a member of the KKK, a strong Democrat, why does nobody talk about that? Do you have any idea how many things he did back in those days? Why does nobody talk about it, but yet they'll crucify people today? And, to be honest, there's one going the other direction. I'm really not sure which side of the fence to sit on this one, okay? Because the whole, I don't know if, I'm sure everybody knows the controversy about what's going on with Mitt Romney, and there was a comedian who, I'm not going to say her name because I don't want to drag her into it, but it's the politics of personal destruction. That's what I don't like about the media. And I am part of the media, but what I don't like about the politics of personal destruction, that's why I don't want to enter into it in this conversation and share her name, is that she made a comment that was left-wing, and you can gather from my conversations that I've leaned toward the right, and so she made some very, very left-wing comments about how she felt that Mitt Romney's grandson was adopted and was an African, and was not the right color for their family, and she made some what I thought were extremely inappropriate comments, but she wasn't thinking about the parent-child adoptive relationship. And that how that child, it's not that child's fault that they were adopted, and it's not the parents' fault that they, and in fact, it's commendable that the interracial parenting is something that they are very open to. And so, she was actually crying yesterday and expressed her apology for causing any kind of bad light to be shed and a bad slant about adoption, and I think that was appropriate. Do I think that she should lose her job over it and be destroyed and thrown in prison and lose all of her rights and be blacklisted from the media? Yeah, probably not. But if the comments had been the other way, I guarantee you the left wing would have gone after them with everything that they had to be able to, with the politics of personal destruction, to make sure that person was destroyed. So I would hope that this upcoming year, that these types of things calm down a little bit, and that we would not be so into destroying individuals to make examples out of them. It's becoming more like public hangings. And so if you don't want to have a public hanging of yourself in 20 years where you didn't know that that going to the local nightclub, which at the time was okay, is not okay 20 years from now, and now you lose your political position or you lose your position on ABC or NBC because somebody can show that your GPS tracker showed that you were at a certain place at a certain time with certain nightclub after hours, whatever, when you're in college. You never know how society is going to change in the next 20 years. So don't click on that little Google Map thing. That's all I'm trying to say. Now, let me badmouth Life 360 while we're at it. Now, I'm going to first of all extol the benefits of Life 360. And there's another app which I don't know the name of it, but it's where friends get together, especially groups of women will get together, and they have a button they can push on their phone that it will alert all of their friends on their little GPS tracking. It's like a Google Map GPS tracker, so it uses a GPS tracker in your cell phone, and you can click a little button, and it will alert all of your friends that you're in danger, and then all of your friends will see where you are. And they'll call the police, call you, try to so it's supposed to help you. Okay, Life 360 is just where it's more for parents. So parents say, "I'll get you a cell phone, but you got to have your Life 360 on all the time, and then we know where you are." Now, if somebody knows that they're being tracked at the moment, I don't have so much of a problem with that because it isn't inside of your body. So your child, if you tell your child, well, I'm going to be tracking you, I know where you are tonight, what are they going to do with their cell phone if you told them, don't you dare go to that nightclub on that certain time after hours with that certain girl? What are they going to do? They're going to leave their cell phone at the school in their locker, at the dance where they're supposed to be, and then they're going to take off to the nightclub and do their clubbing, and they're going to come back and pick up their phone and come home, right? So it's not a perfect scenario, but the idea of Life 360 is that you know where the loved ones in your life are. Obviously, the extension of that is that if you're a little bit wondering if you could trust your spouse, you were in a little bit of you want to know where they are at all times, then it's kind of like the ring around the finger. It doesn't guarantee everything and anything, but it is a good commitment. So Life 360 allows you to see where your loved ones are at all times. But now, life can change, and the NSA is trouncing all over our human rights right now, all over our civil rights right now. They are, in my opinion, this is the worst thing that's happened in American history since the Revolution, where they are violating our privacy in every fashion you could possibly dream of. It is the best system setting up for a dictator I've ever seen. So it is. We are one step away from it, in my humble opinion. And if we don't get the NSA to back off, if we as a country, and this is not a left-wing, right-wing thing, this is not something that was created by the Democrats or just the Republicans. This is something that we as human beings here in the United States, as citizens of the United States, should stand up and tell the NSA, get out of my life. And the very first thing we need to do is stop using apps like Life 360, where their information is absolutely shared. That information is absolutely shared with the NSA. Their information is absolutely going to be shared everywhere. And so now not only is it you, can you imagine if Hitler had gotten a hold of Life 360, if Hitler had Google Maps, if Hitler knew on every phone call, every word we said, everything we did, who were we related to, who our kids were, who our kids are, who they were married to, who we affiliate with, what groups we're in. Oh, social engineering would have been amazing for him. Same with Stalin and Lenin, right? They could have, they killed 40 million people as it was, of their own people. And so they could have, very conveniently, what an amazing tool to kill another 20 million people. They didn't have, and they could have been a lot more precise about it as well. Amazing, isn't it? Well, we don't want that here. We don't want Stalin and Lenin and Hitler coming in and utilizing something like this. So I love the United States, but the United States is in a suicide commitment ourselves right now. We are doing everything we can as the United States of America to commit suicide as an American country. As the United States of America, we're doing everything we can to get rid of ourselves. So in 20 years from now, when somebody else, as we successfully destroy our country, when somebody else is running it and they have all that information, I just warn you, don't do it. Stay away from that as much as you can. I know it's convenient, but stay away from it as much as you can. So it looks like we are about to go to break. So as much as I commend Facebook, I also still have all the same problems with it I always had. Life 360, shame on you, and also Google, shame on you. They have no problems sharing this information. So anyway, I will go to break now. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about getting healthy for the new year, because that's what we're all doing. At 5 o'clock in the morning, we couldn't even get into the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I know everybody is having New Year's resolution thoughts. So when we come back from break, we're going to talk about New Year's and how New Year's resolutions and how we can actually take those to fruition. So don't go away. We'll be right back. This is Kurt Wilhelm, the host of the Social Universe here on Voice America New World Talk Radio. We'll be right back.